Welcome to beautiful San Luis Obispo County. You know, lots of people love our climate here. Our region, with its warm, dry summers and cool winters, is something that's quite different than what's found in other parts of the country where rainfall may occur in summer as well as winter.
And what's interesting is that while we love this Mediterranean climate, most of us landscape our properties as if we lived in a much wetter region, like those found back east or in the tropics.
But those water-loving landscapes, once installed, can be a constant drain on our community's water resources.
And on our pocketbooks when it comes time to pay the water bill.
But there is another choice, landscaping with sustainability in mind. Hi, I'm Rick Matthews.
And I'm Katie Dorr. And today we'd like to show you how considering the soil, the climate, and the water, and other elements specific to our natural environment can have an impact on your time, your money, and our natural resources,
without compromising the beauty of your landscaping. The key to a resource-friendly, money-saving landscape is sustainability. When landscaping for sustainability, we examine the energy and resource inputs like water and labor, and outputs like green waste and water runoff. Then create a design that limits both.
In designing a sustainable landscape, keep these 8 elements in mind. Proper planning and careful design are both essential components of a successful landscape. And this means taking the time to become familiar with the unique qualities of your site, including sloped areas, sun exposure, neighboring wildlife, wind, and your soil's ability to hold moisture and nourish plants. Landscape professionals may be of great help during the design phase of your landscape project. Before selecting your plants, it's important to know your soil type so that you can select plants that are well adapted.
Determining your soil type is easy. You just use one of these soil probes, or just take a shovel and dig down a foot or so. Next, you take some of the soil, make sure it's moist, and then you begin lengthening it as you roll it around in your hand. And at the same time, you try to turn it into a little snake. As you can see, this has quite a bit of clay in it. Now on the other hand, here we have some soil that won't stick together. This is pretty sandy soil. You may need some amendments either way.
Or take a sample of your soil to the local nursery and let a professional determine what kind of soil you will be working with.
Hundreds of types of water-conserving shrubs, trees, vines, ground covers, and annual flowers are available through our local nurseries.
They're native to Mediterranean climate zones located around the world like Australia, South Africa, Chile, the Mediterranean proper, and, of course, California.
And these are the plants that are also best suited to the climate conditions here in San Luis Obispo County and have the best chance of withstanding our cold winters and warm, dry summers. These are also the plants that are most suited to be grouped together, as grouping water-wise plants with more water-dependent varieties could result in costly water bills and even the loss of plants from overwatering.
Here's an example of a hardy Mediterranean plant, rosemary. It's colorful, fragrant, covered with tiny blue flowers in the fall and winter when not a lot of things are in bloom. It also provides erosion control if you plant it on a slope, and it's deer resistant. It's also a wonderfully versatile herb for your kitchen.
And here we have cistus, commonly known as rock rose. It's a flowering shrub that has blooms ranging in color from white to deep pink, with magenta centers, which takes very little water once established.
Just because you're using water-wise plants doesn't mean you can't make your landscaping special for you and your family.
You can have different cycles of blooming activity, foliage with various colors and textures, plants that attract butterflies or other beneficial insects, a certain color scheme, or even a design that's made up exclusively of plants native to California.
Locally, over 50% of the water delivered to single-family homes is directly applied to the landscape. That's a lot of water, and as a water manager, that really concerns me.
Well, every year, we start to see an increase in people coming into the TCSD office concerned about the increase in their water bill. This happens usually when the temperatures begin to warm, say late spring. And when they come in, they're pretty sure that they either have a major leak at their house or there was a mistake in the reading of the meter. Now, what we have found is that 90 to 95% of the time, the increase in their bill and their usage is due to the excessive watering of their landscapes, in particular, their lawns. Now, not only is overwatering expensive and unnecessary, but it can be detrimental to the overall health of your landscape, your plants, and your lawns.
As a trained horticulturist and a conservation manager, I work with other partners in the county to provide water-conserving landscape workshops, sustainable gardening tours, and even a demonstration garden at the local fair. There are a lot of great places that you can see other water-conserving landscapes, like the Leaning Pine Arboretum at Cal Poly, the San Luis Obispo Botanical Garden, and like here, in the Atascadero Native Garden at the Atascadero Lake.
Two excellent resources you may wish to consult are Plants and Landscapes for Summer Dry Climates from the East Bay Municipal Utilities District and the North County Waterwise Plant Guide, available from your local water purveyors.
Resource-friendly landscape designs also consider the placement of and reasons for turf, and therefore include only the minimal amount necessary for your practical enjoyment.
So typically, environmentally friendly landscapes dedicate no more than about 20% of the entire landscape area to lawns. Although more and more often we're seeing native grass turf substitutes like this dune sedge, used by folks who really do need a large green area for their active family.
Now, too small a turf area can also cause waste, so avoid planting turf in any area whose size makes irrigation without overspray impossible. Consider, for example, replacing park strips with ground cover or some type of permeable hardscape like flagstone or gravel.
I love mulch. Mulching with organic material like wood chips can reduce weeds that compete with your plants for water. It also recycles nutrients, helps keep soil moist longer, and moderates soil temperatures.
Commercial mulches like cedar chips also give your beds and borders a finished look that can enhance the beauty of your landscaping.
And remember that many communities around the county offer free to low-cost chipping programs for residents wishing to use their own trimmings as mulch.
A simple irrigation system with a user-friendly timer and schedule that's easy to change should be included in all landscape designs.
Drip irrigation is the most efficient means of watering in many cases, as it puts the water where it's needed the most without sprinkler overspray.
You should try hydrozoning. That means making very sure that plants with similar water needs are grouped together for maximum efficiency. Most landscapes include walkways, steps, patios, or some other kind of hardscape area. And these hardscaping areas, when combined with potted plants or container gardens, can create a dramatic effect for your garden. This path, unlike conventional concrete, is set in sand and crushed granite. Now, this allows the water to pass through rather than running off into gutters and storm drains or pooling, where it might become a breeding ground for mosquitoes. The final consideration for a sustainable landscape is maintenance. Although all landscapes require some maintenance, time for upkeep should never exceed your time enjoying your yard. To reduce your maintenance time, here are some things to consider. How fast do the plants you selected grow?
What kinds of additional tools will be required to maintain the plants?
Will plants, if left to grow without trimming, eventually disrupt sidewalks, utility lines, and crowd out other plants? And finally, are perennials that need only occasional replacement preferred to several beds of annuals?
Most Mediterranean plants require less water once established.
And that's a real advantage for families on the go with little time for yard work.
So whether you're planning a new landscape installation or just a yard makeover, making the effort to create a design that keeps sustainability in mind will save you time, money, and most importantly, our precious natural resources.
And that's a good thing for both you and the beautiful environment here on the Central Coast. For more information on water-conserving landscaping, contact your local water purveyor or check these websites.